Hello everyone and welcome back to Gwimb Discusses 40k Things. Now today I'd like to pose another question to you all, as is my wont, and ask, if you were fighting war in the 42nd millennium, what would your ideal arsenal be? Now I was thinking about this the other day, and first off I'm going to clarify the point of, this is not the most objectively good weapons list, because obviously a Custodes patent bolt gun is going to be better than some hive getting a shitty auto pistol. But what would your ideal loadout be for you personally? Now I shall go through my personal thought process and let you know how I came to some of the more interesting conclusions I came to. Now, first thing you're going to need if you're fighting wars in the 42nd millennium is a ranged weapon. I think all modern war today needs a ranged weapon, and in the 42nd millennium you're definitely going to need one. Now, I was looking at the most obvious ideal weapons, bolt pistols, bolters, archaeotech, plasma, things like that. But I was looking at it and going, yes, they might be good for a battle, but if you're fighting a long-term engagement or an actual war, that's not ideal. Ammunition's going to run low, power cells are going to run low. I mean, with plasma weapons there's a danger you'll blow up your hand. Something like a bolter is incredibly bulky and heavy, and I frickin' hate carrying excess weight around. So for me, I was thinking, well, I need something lightweight, reliable, but can still pack a punch. So I decided to go for a hotshot lasgun. I know, wait, let me explain. There is a method to my madness. Alright, now, first things first. Lasguns are incredibly reliable and dependable. Unlike bolt weapons, they do not need ammunition. The lasgun cells are in fact so durable and so easily recharged that you can literally chuck them in an open fire or point them at the sun for a day and they will recharge their shots. Now, it won't come back as strong. Every recharge, as with all rechargeable batteries, depletes the overall capacity a little bit. However, you don't need to worry about ammunition problems for a medium-term campaign or a long-term battle, because you can recharge the shells. Now, hotshot lasgun, more powerful, burns a bit brighter and a bit hotter than a standard lasgun, so you're probably still not going to break power armor, but most alien threats, it'll probably go through most gene stealers, things like that. And ideally, fighting wars in the 32nd millennium, you're not going to be fighting traitor Astartes or Necron overlords all the time. So, something reliable, dependable, but still packs more of a punch than the shitty conscript pattern lasguns is ideal. Now, I was thinking a las pistol, but personally for me, I'd prefer a carbine. I'm more accurate with a rifle in real life than I am with a pistol. And with a rifle you can just sling it over your shoulder with a sling and just bring it up to draw as it goes. So, hotshot lasgun, that's going to be my ranged weapon. Now, melee weapons. You need a melee weapon in the 42nd millennium because shit gets up close and personal very quickly. Now, again, I'm actually going to go to the high end of the spectrum here. By the way, this is not objectively based on what materials you can get. For this assumption, we are going to assume I have unlimited money and manpower and resources to buy whatever weapons I want. And the weapon I'm going to choose is, I'm going to choose a power sword, because it's something that can break through ceramite or other heavy armament weaponry, can destroy, Necrons and things like that. It packs more of a punch, it's more lightweight and useful, and as for type of power weapon, I would go for a short power weapon. Now, I did try to teach myself fencing and kendo back in the day, but I was never really that good at it. However, I was very much enamored with gladiuses and spaffers and the more shorter bladed weapons, so I think a power gladius would be ideally suited for me. And I mean, if worst comes to worst, you could probably duct tape it to the end of the lasgun. I wouldn't go for a power knife because you want something with more reach, but a full power sword, trying to carry that and a carbine as well, would just be a little bit bulky and in the way. And as for me personally, when I'm going hunting and tramping and hiking and stuff, I like carrying as little as I need. So I would definitely stick for a shorter weapon. Now, other things you'd want to carry. Obviously, frag and crack grenades I definitely think are a must, taking on armor and vehicles. I wouldn't load myself down with them, maybe 3 frag grenades, 3 crack grenades. That's enough for an engagement, and if you can't destroy something with 6 grenades, then you probably should call orbital gunfire support in that capacity. So, we've covered ranged weapons, and we have covered melee weapons. Now, the other thing we need is protection. Now, believe it or not, again, for me personally, when I did military cadet training and when I did everything else, carrying around heavy webbing and body armor and shit like that irritated the crap out of me. I like completely lightweight material. I like to move fast and feel like I'm not bogged down. So I was actually going to move away from things like power armor or anything like that. However, I have actually drawn myself back to it, and I would actually give myself power armor. Now, the main reason for this, believe it or not, it comes down to protection. And power armor, let's be honest, is definitely the best protection that you're going to be able to buy. You could get iron halos, which is definitely an idea, or a Rosaris or something to help you out in that regard as well. However, power armor is definitely more useful. Now, ideally I was going to immediately jump on power armor because of the strength enhancing capabilities. However, that's limited to Astartes because the black carapace, and with traditional human power armor, it doesn't give you that super exoskeleton boost. It's mainly the boosting and the protection of the armor itself. However, I still think a suit of lightweight power armor, or as light as I can get it without compromising the structural integrity, definitely would be the most useful for me personally. And, there we have it. So I would go power armor, power gladius, and a hotshot last gun. I would also probably try and get myself a Cameline cloak. I know trying to hide yourself with power armor is a bit unusual, but I like to stick with my light infantry personal tactics. Now, the other thing I would do, thinking about it, believe it or not, I would actually give myself a cybernetic hand and a cybernetic right leg. The reasons for that is because of a pre-sustaining injury, my right leg is actually pretty fucked. I broke every single bone in my leg from the knee down, like shattered the kneecap, the ankle, all of it, just obliterated it. So it's now held together with like multiple metal rods and screws. So in reality, it's actually more cybernetic now than it, ever has been. But it still hurts a bit when I get cold, and it still, doesn't have the full 100% movement it used to have. So chop that off and replace it with a proper Adeptus Mechanicus grade cybernetic. And similar thing, I chopped off one of my fingers a while ago. So I'd probably replace the left hand as well, just because again, it still has the residual pains and injury. And if you're fighting in the 42nd millennium, you could probably do without that sort of hassle in your day-to-day life. So yeah, and aside from that, just basically minimal rations and supplies and whatever you need to keep going. So there we have it, that's what my loadout would be. And I think if I was playing a game of Dark Heresy, that's probably what I would actually go for. Hotshot last gun, lightweight power armor, power gladius, and away we go. So yeah, what would your ideal weapons and equipment be for you personally? Are you the type of person that would more likely want to have a bolter for the extra firepower, or the type of person that would just want to go purely, melee, maybe give yourself a power axe or something like that? Let me know down below. I actually find it fascinating. So, cheerio for sitting through this if you did, and I'll catch you all again another time.